Good morning, folks. Well, I'm out and about looking for what else? Toilet paper. I've been out 3 days this week from time I get up for a couple hours, 3 hours, looking for toilet paper, and still nobody has any. You know, you get on Facebook and you see all these crazy posts. You listen to the news, you watch the news, it's like the whole world has gone mad. Everybody seems to think that this is the end. The world is ending. Oh my goodness. Well, all I can say, people, is it's not the end. I can 100% guarantee you this is not the end, people. We don't go out that way. The reason I can say this to you is because my God has given me His Word, a book, the Bible. And in His Bible, He plainly says this is not the end. He tells us in great detail how the end's going to happen, what to expect, and who needs to expect it. You know, I'm amazed, I'm totally amazed at the amount of people that call themselves Christians, yet they are so scared to death. They're scared to talk about the end. They're scared to talk about the rapture or the tribulation. Many of them nowadays are even scared to talk about the gospel, to talk about Jesus, to share Him with anyone. Jesus said when He was on the earth that all these things that we're seeing go on around us, distress of nations, perplexity, famines, earthquakes, on and on, Jesus said these things must happen. And they happen before the end. Before the end. This ain't the end, people. And if you're a Christian, you don't even go through the end. You don't go through it. As a Christian, you go home where you're safe. You're with your family. You're with the Father. And it just perplexes me how many Christians are not excited about that. You know, we as humans, we're evil. We're flawed. We're jacked up. We really are. We're jacked up. And I can guarantee you that if somebody of authority came up to you and said, hey, look, this is what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is how everything's going to be ended. I can guarantee you what you would do, you would go home. You would get your kids, your wife, your loved ones. You would get them out of there. You would get them to safety so that they wouldn't go through none of that stuff. Well, guess what? As jacked up as we are, and if we would do that, if you're a Christian, you got a Heavenly Father who's going to do the same thing. He's going to come for His children, which are the church, and He's going to take us home to safety. You're not going to be part of that scene. And if you're not a Christian, well, you're the ones that should be in fear. Because when the end does come happen, and you've been left behind, you wasn't taken away in this rapture, I'm going to tell you, all hell's going to break loose. You can think about the worst horror movie that you have ever seen. And that's going to be mild in comparison to what's going to go on this earth. But people, this is not the end. This is just symptoms of what's coming down the road. As Christians, we need to be out there comforting people that are in fear. You know, there's many people that don't know Christ that are fearing that this is the end. And somebody needs to be sharing with them, hey, you know what? You don't have to fear. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying what this is. The virus is real. People are sick. People are dying. It's spreading. It is real. But the Bible tells us we don't go out this way. We don't go out this way. There's so much more yet to come. So, as Christians, start praying. We need to be praying. We need to be praying for our government, for our president, that he makes wise decisions, wise choices. We need to be praying that many people who don't know Christ come to know Christ. We need to be praying for healing. We need to be praying that God does take this virus away. We need to be praying He does take this virus away. But, you know, it just perplexes me how crazy the world has gotten overnight, it seems like. And I just want to hopefully comfort a few people in telling you, relax, pray. You got loved ones out there. Those are who you need to be fearing for. Don't need to fear this virus. Fear for your loved ones that don't have a relationship with Christ. That's who you need to fear for, and that's what you need to fear. Because for those left behind, you might become a Christian once the church is taken away, but it's going to cost you your head, literally. If you can't be a Christian now, when you have the comfort of the church around you and the Holy Spirit, trust me, it's going to be a way harder to be a Christian once the church has been taken away. And you know, sometimes God allows things to happen in our individual lives, in the world around us, as a wake-up call. But we have God's promise that for those that love Him, He can bring good out of it. We're all upset that everything's closed. There's no sporting events. There's nothing on TV. You know, people are hoarding. But think about this. Now, a godless society, we're being forced to spend time with our family, to eat at the table with our family again. There's no sporting events or nothing crazy to hold us back from spending time with our family. We now, you know, many people say, well, I don't have time to pray. I don't have time to go to church. I don't have time to read my Bible. Well, now you do. Now you've got time to do all that stuff. So instead of looking at all the negative and all the bad, there is good that can come out of this should we as a people humble ourselves and look to the Lord for that. For anybody watching this that don't know Jesus, I highly encourage you, get to know Him. He'll give you a joy and a peace that you cannot imagine. You don't have to go to church to do this. You don't have to be in front of a preacher, and you don't have to pray with a pastor. You know, the thief on the cross, that was a deathbed confession. He said, Lord, forgive me. I believe you. Jesus told him, today you will be with me in paradise. If you're not a Christian, realize you're jacked up. There's nothing you can do to save yourself. Only Christ can do that. Believe He is who He said He was, because He is. Go to Him. Let Him know you're a sinner. You're sorry. Believe in Him. Not believe that He exists, but believe in Him. Have faith in Him, confidence in Him, trust Him. You're going to be saved. You have that assurance that through all this stuff happening, that at the end of the day, when he returns for his own, you're going to be part of that. And you're not going to go through the end. Instead, that's just the beginning. The beginning of eternity with Christ. No more problems, no more worries, no more crazy lines looking for toilet paper. No sickness, no death. You have his word on it. So, try to have a blessed day. If you're not saved, consider what it means. Consider talking to the Lord and getting saved. And if you're a Christian, be praying for your country, your president, your loved ones, that God would eradicate this virus, that your loved ones would come to Christ and just help a hurting world. Instead of hoarding and buying everything up. You know, the early church did just the opposite. They looked at the needs of their community. It said they sold their belongings, and they gave their belongings, and they gave stuff away to those that needed. They looked at the needs of the others, and they did what they could to fulfill those needs. That's what we are to do. So quit hoarding, leave some for other people, and just go to the Father. Have a blessed day.